Hi parents, Debbie Hoyt here. Thank you for tuning into this week's vlog. And I wanted to show you a couple of little tricks to help you through the summer. One, we talked a little bit last week about kind of getting our kids involved and doing things, and they're really at an age where they're not earning a whole lot of money, but yet what they want to do costs money. So I wanted to give you a couple little tricks that I've found over the years that I've used as well, and I've recommended to other families to kind of help students, your children, kind of earn money, and for you to get things done around the house as well. Because it's important that we all work together to get things done. So there's a couple of ways we can do this, and I have to admit I don't remember where I got this idea for this board off of. This is my work for hire board that I usually use in the summertime. I pulled it out and my son was like, oh good, we're going to be doing this again. I probably got it off of Pinterest or off some sort of social media, but this is my work for hire board. So they're typical chores that probably your children have to do. I hear students talk about that they have to clean their room, or they have to pick up from dinner, or take the dog for a walk, whatever that may be. They have their typical chores that they do on a daily or weekly basis. This board is basically additional jobs that need to get done, and you get to decide what the jobs are and what the board looks like. And so I have lots of little cards, a nice thick stack, and I've used cardstock, but you can use whatever you have, even if you have sticky notes. So this says that these chores are done kind of after your other chores. And another thing is I am the boss. You have to review the work. And thinking back to some of the previous discussions that we have, this is talking with your kids about what these jobs are going to look like, how it should look when it's done, how long it should take, etc., etc. So as you can see, I have a couple different jobs. And on the top part, one of the things that I do is I add money to it. You can add quarters, you can have really big jobs, maybe it's something like mowing the lawn or raking up the grass, turning over a compost bin. It can be anything that you want, and you can put the amount that you want on it. I happen to have weeding, and I put a time with it, so I'm expecting him to weed for 15 minutes. Maybe we're sweeping and cleaning the front walkways. Sometimes there's some mopping or dusting. So that is one way that your child can earn some extra cash. At the same time, I realize for a lot of families that money may be tight, or you don't want to be paying your kids, or you don't think that they'll be saving the money for what they need to. So another thing that I've also recommended is kind of adding minutes to it. So lots of kids like to play video games. They want to be on the electronics. So that way you can give them actual time. So, if you vacuum the first floor in my house, you get 20 minutes of electronic time. Or if you clean the slider windows throughout the house, you get 10 minutes of time. So those are the types of things that you have too. You can also, if you have your child pay for the phone, you can give them so many minutes so that they can go on Snapchat or Instagram or whatever it is to do that. So again, I have lots of them on here. So what happens is, as soon as my son gets a job done, of course I'm picking the one that sticks, but all he does is he takes it down and then he puts it back up. So he can do one job, sometimes I have lots of jobs up, sometimes I have fewer jobs up. That's really up to you. And then he can do as many jobs in a day as he'd like. One of the things that I do with this is not really a have to. I just leave it in a place in my kitchen. It's not really discussed. I put up things the night before and then it's there. There are some jobs that I will say that will sit there for like 2 weeks. And then there's other jobs that he likes to do that he chooses right away. So this isn't something to argue about. This isn't something that we fight about. This is pretty much a board that's just in the kitchen that he can go and get some money. So it's not something to do that because he also knows that I'm just not going to be, our money tree in the backyard, like for most of us, has burned down. Sometimes I see people do something like this too. They have kind of a board or another place in their house where they just leave some work or some worksheets out, or they'll write notes back and forth to each other. That's a great way to keep up some academic skills too. Now, your kids probably want to earn money for certain things, and those certain things probably cost a lot of money. So what I've done is I personally use something, and it's probably I even think in kind of in a budgeting course, I call it the envelope method, and I really believe it probably is called the envelope method. Sometimes you get different savings accounts out, but I pick out if there's something that I want to purchase that I know is a big ticket item, I don't have the cash for it right away, I have what I call the envelope method. So if it's something smaller, I just get the money in there. Sometimes for those larger ticket items, or if I'm saving money like for a new stove or something like that, I might write the money that I put in a savings account so I don't have cash in the house. So this is something that your kids can do, is they can definitely have an envelope method, and you guys decide in your family where you're going to keep it. So as your kids are earning money, maybe they want, those PS4 gift cards, spending money for vacation. Maybe they're going to Canopy Lake and they want some spending money for food and for the ticket. All the kids want those sneakers when they get back to school that cost $100. So what happens is you set up this is a part of planning. You create these envelopes, and so as your kids earn money off the work for hire board, maybe they do extra jobs in the neighborhood, maybe you have an older child who is already out in the workforce. But what you do is you develop these envelopes, and as you earn money, you get to pick where you want the money to go into one of these envelopes. Savings account, I should have made an envelope for savings account, because sometimes that's important too, is learning how to save money too. And what's nice about this is if I put all the money into sneakers, once I have the $100 and the sneakers I want cost $100, then I can take the money and I can go and buy it because I've got the cash right in here. I also keep an eye out, so that way if I know the sneakers I want are on sale, all of a sudden I got the cash on hand, that way I can go and do that. What's nice about this is if all of a sudden I've got, $50 saved up and my sneakers are on sale for $60, I can take $10 from one of these other envelopes. You can do that. You can switch money around. You can, like you would with finances, you can definitely move money around. I personally, the only envelope that we can't take money out of is in the savings account, and usually we put that right into savings account right away, because that way it's not there to take from. So that's nice about that too. So that's another way to help your kids kind of learn to budget. I have found, and research also says, that when kids are spending their own money, they're much more thoughtful about it than spending your money. Impulse buys with mom and dad's money is a much higher rate than when they actually have to think about, do I really want this soccer ball, or do I really want this, water Nerf gun, whatever, for the summer that I'm probably only going to use this year. So that's just a couple of ideas that I have to kind of help your children do some things that aren't technology related, yet still earning some money at the same time and getting some things done around your house together. So again, these aren't things that you're really stressed about. These aren't things that are going to cause discord within the family. These are just these are ideas, and then your kids can go to it. As I said, I have found with even students and kids that I've done this with before, they've actually gone to the board much more because it's not have-tos. And I just happen to use $1 bills because those were easy. I've done it with little coins. So if you have a smaller job that's not going to be worth so much, and you can have those really big jobs that you can put $10 and $20 bills up there if you want. So that is just a couple of ideas. I want to thank you for watching today, and I hope you're able to use these over the summer. Thanks. Bye.